So today we continue with the last lecture, uniformly regular case canonical elements. So we will today take up analytical computations. We got good experience numerically, so we thought we entered into the analytical development. So Xavier James Raj, he registered for PhD in Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam, because our center was recognized as a research center. So then I told him, because already he had worked on this with me. So we thought, let us start some analytical work on this. And by that time, I already had enough experience with the KS elements. So then we thought, and we already saw that this canonical forms, actually, as if you see in the literature, when we carry out any study with in terms of the canonical elements, we had some advantages. We get some advantages, and we already saw that. So we thought that whatever analytical solution we will develop, that also might come better. So with that faith, we started our studies. So we started with the KS canonical elements. These equations last time I had discussed. Again in the next research paper, again we will discuss this. So these equations, this work we carried out, and then this was we wanted to present there in COSPAR meeting, and we completed the work. And for this presentation, Xavier James Raj was given 1,000 euros also as a grant for presenting. But unfortunately, he was not able to go. So that grant was not utilized. But then we had, because these same COSPAR people, they accept some of the papers in the Acta Astronautica. So then we had presented, but they gave the pages were confined only to 6, and I think we got with a lot of only 7 pages to present this. So with a lot of efforts, we try to present. So we did this work in terms of J2, J3, J4, short-term orbit predictions in terms of J2, J3, J4 in the Hamiltonian form. It was a little difficult task, but I had enough experience with the case elements analytical development with oblateness and drag, so that helped. And numerical simulations also we carried out with these equations as well as with the other equations. So that all was helpful to us. So we started together we started with J2, J3, J4. Because if you take J2, J3, J4, though J3, J4 for Earth, they contribute significantly less, but they are also needed for the accurate orbit predictions. Some contributions they also make, but major contribution is done by J2, which is 1,000 times almost greater than the J3 and J4 coefficients. But in the case of Moon, for example, the situation is different. We cannot just with J2, we cannot manage. We'll have to take a very, in fact, the time dependent terms also needed to be taken there. Here, these are all time independent terms, J2, J3, J4. So with this we started, and we carried out we got our variables in terms of the canonical variable. Here S is the independent variable. And so as I last time I told, so the all conversions we were quite clear how to convert the position velocity components in terms of these uniformly regular. And as I explained last time, these are in my opinion, these are the best canonical variables, because all the 10 your elements are constants, and only perturbations come into effect. So that does a lot of good when we develop analytical solutions, because you can assume those to be constant and only look for the perturbation. And probably that is one reason why the solutions come better. So you can see here, I will show you so these are all usual, the energy and gravitational constant and other things. The development was complicated, not so easy, because you can see the values of this d alpha by d, because as I told you that they had given only 6 or 7 pages, only 7 with a lot of difficulty, 6 only I think originally they said. So 5 or 6 only they wanted that whole thing to be, but it was difficult. So we I think we had put a lot of efforts to put them in compact form. These J2, J3, J4 development in DL5 by DS, and then this is the tau by DS. And as you know that the energy doesn't change when we take only the zonal harmonic term J2, J3, J4. So that 10th one does not come. These are 8 in numbers, because and you see I is equal to 1 to 8, and then this is the 9th. The time also you need to calculate, because this also becomes the function of the other variables. So then this we define this Q, which appears here. R R is written in terms of this variable, because this is not so
सर आपका माइक म्यूट है।
Sir, your mic is mute.
Is my sound,
Yes, sir. Now,
is it coming now?
yes, sir. Audible, sir. You are audible, sir. Now,
Now I am audible. Eh? I think some loose connection might have happened. Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
You're able to see, yeah? Okay, so here we start the analytical solution in terms of J2, J3, J4, in terms of uniformly regular case canonical elements. Last time we had seen that how to develop the numerical solutions. We had experience with the numerical investigations. So here we started the analytical solution with respect to J2, J3, J4. So these are the when you don't hear, you tell me. These are the case uniform canonical equations of motion, and we are taking only the perturbed potential V only. So because J2, J3, J4, and you can see this Hamiltonian, the beauty of this Hamiltonian. Those only when perturbations are not there. So and this is only a constant. So practically your H will not depend on any of the, or for unperturbed case, for any of the parameters. So when you take your partial derivatives over here, so your all alpha betas will be constant. So this is the uniqueness of this uniform. So once there are a number of other variables also in the book discussed, but all other will have they are not, all 10 are not constants. So if one is having linearly dependent, so you'll have to use that also while developing an analytical solution. So then we thought this, and this one, and nobody has attempted any analytical solution. So we were we had no other this thing, but we had experience with the case elements, how to do with case variables. So we that was our background, and then we started doing this. And you can see there dH by ds equal to 0, and this already we obtained there also in the case variables also. So with all that background, we started this work, but directly we went with J2, J3, J4. And the idea was that we wanted to present it in a COSPAR conference, and it was accepted there, and 1,000 euros were given also to Xavier for presenting this, but unfortunately he was unable to go, so that 1,000 was not utilized. But then they agreed to consider it for publication in Acta Astronautica. So, but only thing, page was the problem. Page, they said only you make it in 6 pages or so. So we could not, these are all there. So we put them in very compact form, d alpha by ds. So these are a lot of coefficients are coming inside. All these whatever we have calculated, but in this paper they do not form part of this paper. So one cannot really compute them here, and d tau by d. So because we had no other place for this to put it. And then you can see here R is d0 into 1 minus q cos f. F is a minus gamma, and this tangent gamma is d2 by d1, and d2 and d1 are given over here. So it was a complicated affair, and a is given here, function of the independent variable. Alpha 0 is a energy. So R was complicated. So expanding is also was not also a easier task, but well, we had to do it because it was now it became a part of his PhD work. So we struggled, and when finally we got it. Once we had done it, then these integrals we were familiar also because already we are utilized. So everything came in terms of the integrals. So these integrals were used. So like these cos 5 a by r raised to rn, these are coming. So these we evaluated all these integrals. So analytical solution we obtained in terms of J2, J3, J4. So because this is also we had earlier experience to get these things, and some one or two might have come new. So those also we have evaluated. But then this was the when we do, most of you must have been facing that when you do a research PhD. You have to so everything is not available with you. Certain thing you have to do yourself, and certain thing you have to find from here and there. And since this equation nobody has utilized them for any analytical work, so everything was for us new only. So finally, with all that efforts we had got in terms of we got these expressions, delta alpha k and tau. This is the time, modified time, because physical time we don't use, and s is the independent variable, so new time we obtain. And so once these expressions are there, then we have to check their accuracies and those things. Anyway, since we had enough experience of numerical investigations, so we were able to do that job. And you can see there, we had taken, by the time we had a good computer also there, using the IBM RISC RS6000K computer was there in our center. So then we had started working on that computer, and we had taken different type of 4 cases we considered, so that we take different kind of orbits. See, this is small eccentricity to very high 0.92, 73.1, and perigees are also varying. This is from 253 to this. These are all these are the orbital periods chosen at 200 kilometer, and their perigee height, semi-major and orbital periods. These are this perigee height, and this is semi-major axis, and this is orbital periods. So different kind of cases we have considered, and then an inclination we kept higher, because higher, if you are able to, if your theory is working on high inclination, then certainly it will work. That our past experience said that it will work for low inclination as well. So 85 degree we took, and the other parameters are not. It is you have to keep some values. So we have taken, for our convenience, we have taken capital omega, right ascension of ascending node, and small omega, and mean anomaly as 0 to 70 and 0. And table 1 provides the time, position, velocity of vector with J2, J3, J4 for 4 test sketches during a revolution. So during one revolution, we we get them, and between analytical solution, these are all analytical comes in a single step, and numerically you have to do numerically maybe one step, 1 degree per revolution of that kind. 1 degree, not per revolution, 1 degree in step size, so around 360 steps per revolution. So we have carried out, and you can see the results in table 1. This is table 1, you can see here. Position and velocity, because the referee said you measure them in terms of position, velocity. So position and velocity we have found. So this is the time after what time we have done. Next we will know around. So this is analytical numbers, x, y, z, because they will vary, x, y, z will vary, but we are not computing in x, y, z space. We are computing in the uniformly regular space. So but this is just to show that the variation in physical space will be of that kind. And this is analytical minus numerical. So these are the kind of, you can say, errors. Analytical, this is analytical or analytical minus numerical. This is analytical values. So analytical and numerical values will be almost nearby only, because you can, from here you can see. This is analytical and this is analytical minus numerical. These are the three occasions we have taken. After time of 23 and after time of 46 and after time of 49. They will be around, they will be told there in the next table. Similarly for case B and C and D we have taken. And you can see there the differences are between analytical and numerical are not, these are in terms of kilometers and these are kilometer per second. So these are the kind of differences we obtain during a revolution. And here figure you can see them better. So this is for case C. Case C, we have taken difference between analytical and numerical computed values of position vector during a revolution for case. So during this revolution, how much is the errors, difference between analytical and numerical. So you can see there that this is the maximum around 21 point something or less than 22 kilometer. This goes in this during a revolution. So we have computed every step, and then we have because analytical computation is easier. So this is X component, Y component, and Z component. This is X component, and this is Y component, and this is the Z component. So Z component is showing slightly more than the other X and Y components. This is for case C, and okay, so this is the one which you can see here during one or the case C, which we have shown. This is the difference. Now we have shown this. Now you can see the other figures. Figure 2, difference between analytical and numerical computed values of semi-major axis for the case A and B. So how semi-major axis differences will look like for this case A, because this its orbital, because this is during one full revolution. So its orbital period is only up to this much. So it has gone up to here, and the other one has got the orbital period in terms of minutes. So it is up to here. So you can see here, this is the kind of errors you will have in terms of meters. These are not very significant, you can say. So this is how it's able to. These are all, when that's why we say that there is, for the moment you have taken J2, you do not get any orbit, because in elliptic or anything that will be oscillating. It will have some, because of the potential due to J2 here, of course J2, J3, J4 are there, but then J2, J3, J4 will not contribute significantly. It will be almost very nearby J2. So that is how these are all the differences. The other thing will be in terms of kilometers. You can see when we are somewhere we will show you. Okay, so because this we could not see much, show you much results here because we could not put here more because the pages were told by them to be this thing. So this is a very classical example in literature. This is the orbit of a ballistic trajectory, where you can see here the semi-major axis is less than 6378. So this is a suborbital flight, 2.02 kilometer, and these are the initial position velocity. This is there documented in literature, and big people have done. The Jack Lewinsky and this Angel Jenkins is a very big man who has written a few books also, and he worked in NASA. So these people, and Bond, as I last time told you, Bond only suggested me to take up these equations when I was studying the orbital decay of the Rohini satellite. So this is a numerical solution of this one. He has done very accurately. So after this much time, from this to this semi-major axis, this is around 1800 second time. So this one in the text it will be written somewhere. These are the position vector, and when we did with this present one, we call it Xavier Sharma. So it has up to this meter level it has matched, and Jenkins and they also use KS formulation in some other form. You can see two components are matching, but here there is a 1 meter difference. And when I was doing my theory that in case analytical solution, which I present some time back, so you can see here that there is a difference of 1 meter here, and then 2 meters over here, case variables. So, and Jack Lewinsky, you can say, is going quite away. It's not going. It's going quite away from the solution of the Bond. You can see there 923 and this. So this is not at all. Only so even this solution that came better than this. So you can say there was no difference up to meter level. And when you don't take this J2 into consideration, you can see there almost more than 9 kilometer difference is there in X component. That means if you take a spherical Earth, then and compute, then your X component after that 1800 seconds will come around this to this. There is a difference of nearly more than 9 kilometers. And similarly, here also there is not that much difference in this one, but here also there you have a difference of almost near to 3 kilometers. Slightly less than that. So that is the other difference is all due to J2. J2 makes in 1800 seconds, that is the kind of difference. And differences are, you see, you cannot, that's why we don't have still a closed solution to that. A complete closed solution we don't have, where we can say, well, you give J2, we will give you the complete solution to that. People have worked. Diprit has done parallax thing, and there he has improved upon the solutions. And you can see here these analytical J2 to J4 also, if you take this solution, present solution, it also matches for that example up to all the. So the differences are this only. You can see here when we took J2 to J4. 929 has become 924. This difference, this much has come, and which we have ourselves integrated. We have not taken Bond's this thing, but we have the integrator. So this is, it won't be having in such a short any differences as such. And this difference has also been there. because of additional J3, J4, and here there is also a difference. So these are because of the additional term J3, J4. But then it has matched. This is analytical and numerical, both are matched. So the present solution became very accurate. So that gave us, a good confidence, and for Xavier also it gave a good confidence that he can now he can proceed, very confidently to his research program, because numerically these were done and analytically these were carried out so well with respect to J2, J3, J4 solution. So conclusion, we made it analytical solution for the short-term motion of satellite in closed form because these are closed form. For all eccentricities they will work, and for all inclination J2 to J4 has been obtained in terms of Ks uniformly regular canonical elements. Only one of the 8 equations need to be integrated. See, that's the beauty of this thing. If you are able to push this in terms of integrals, and integrals only evaluating, integrals are all exact number values they will provide you. So only one of the 8 equations need to be integrated analytically to generate the state vector as a result of symmetry in the Ks. Like earlier, here also we have symmetry in the Ks regular canonical element. Numerical results indicate the solution is quite accurate over a wide range of eccentricity as well as inclination, and is superior to some of the existing solution. So we have thanked the referees because they suggested to put it in this form, especially X, Y, Z and other those things. So we have used this thing, and you can see these are we cut down the references also because pages were important. So that's why we had put down the references. And you see that time the emails were also in office. I think we had a problem. So this is actually the Ruchi 429. This is my daughter's email address. We might have sent it from home because the situation was gradually only, today we are so comfortable with all these situations, or a few years back also, but this at that time probably that was the situation. And this, you can see the revision was there 19 November, then we revised in February, and then March it was accepted. So that's how this work, analytical work, started, and very accurate. So the lesson we learned was that if we continue any other work on this, which will certainly will be, so then further for his PhD thing, then we thought now let us enter into drag. So we entered into drag. You are hearing me?
Yes, sir. You are audible. You are audible, sir.
Okay. So then we entered into the drag area. So we first drag paper we published in the Planetary and Space Science journal, analytical orbit prediction with air drag using Ks uniformly regular canonical elements. And you can see citations are not much because not many people are following this work. So if they follow, then only they will increase, because a little complicated work also. Because of our experience, my experience was there quite this thing. So we were able to enter in this easily. But for a new person, entering also is not so easy, and having all the programs, etc. And later also here, Dr. Harish, he did PhD in Ks variable, because in that variable we carried out the lunisolar perturbation, etc. That also I am going to present sometime. So, but this was not that much, except drag. He followed. I did with him work, and then he has also later worked something on drag. But other areas it has not reached, like the effect of sun and moon and other things. And probably if we are able to push to restricted three-body problem, then we do not know what kind of improvement we may get. Certainly, we might land up in good solutions. Anyway, if my aim of these lectures is that some people get motivated and then try to do something new in this area and take this as a background. So here we developed a new non-singular analytical theory for the motion of nearer satellite orbits with the air drag effect. for long-term motion in terms of Ks uniformly regular canonical elements by a series expansion method, by assuming the atmosphere to be symmetrically spherical with constant density scale height. So we have taken a very simple model. That is the simplest model when we take a spherical atmosphere and then constant density scale height. Both are simplest, because our aim was to see first whether we can do or not. We cannot do. So when you take up a thing, we do not know whether anything we will be able to do, or whether our efforts will go fail. The series expansion include up to third order terms in eccentricity. Only 2 of the 9 equations are solved analytically to compute the state vector and change in energy at the end of each revolution due to symmetry in the equations of motion, because they are symmetric. Numerical comparisons of the important orbital parameters, we measure an eccentricity up to 1000 revolutions obtained with the present solution with case analytical solution and Cook-King-Haley-Walker. This also was their King-Haley and Cook-King-Haley-Walker. This was their, which they did in 1960. So then for finding out how good it, because these are simple equations, so writing a program was not easy, because you have all other density model you keep same and push these expressions. And for this my oblate studies was, because I started in Ks with the oblate atmosphere. But you put oblateness equal to 0, it will become a spherical atmosphere. So then these were compared, and we found that this Ks canonical was better than the other 2 solutions with respect to numerical integrated values, showed a superiority of the present solution over the other 2 theories over a wide range of eccentricity, perigee height, and inclination. So the introduction, anyway, you can have a look on that. The method of this Ks total energy element equations in this book, Stiefel and Schiffel, is a powerful method for numerical solution with respect to any type of perturbing forces, because this document gave us some good confidence. Marson, he works also in RAE, so I worked in there. So his document was there, numerical, and he also did some good work. And then this I did with the for Rohini satellite orbital decay, because that gave us a good idea that they will be working. And then analytical solution I developed, a number of solutions I developed, and then she developed Leila Nair, and she also worked on Ks variables, and she made it 4th order solution in terms of Ks variables. So to further extended these two fourth order variables. That paper I have not presented here. Maybe I will have a look on that also. We'll see. That is again same, number of pages are same, so number of results available, numerical results available are less. A particular canonical form of the Ks differential equation known as Ks uniform regular elements, which we are using here. So this I told you, these equations are very useful for parabolic, elliptic, parabolic, and hyperbolic orbits, all three. That is the one great advantage of this. Of course, we use only for elliptic, but well, that is what the book says. They can be used. So when you go from a transfer orbit from elliptic to hyperbolic, they will be very useful, especially for interplanetary orbits. And then we have carried out the other works with J2, J3, J4. We carried out the work which I just told you, and then we which was compared with this Angel and Jackowski's work. See the analytical solution. This is 800.009 seconds. That whatever that example I was telling you, that is the time in the case of a ballistic trajectory of high eccentricity 0.91 with the initial altitude of 100 kilometers. So that's why this is a good example where the effect of J2 will be very high, because only 100 kilometers away we are there altitude. So motivated by all these development, we started this present study. The first step towards the development of analytical theory with a more realistic atmosphere. We have chosen relatively a simple atmosphere here. we have developed a new non-singular theory with the air drag by the method of series expansion. The terms up to third order in eccentricity are retained. Only 2 of the 9 equations are solved analytically. That already we have seen earlier, and we concentrated on a long term. Yes, up to 1,000 revolutions we computed for all the cases, and then we compared it with Cook and King Haley and Walker, and then the Sharma, whatever my theory was there. So these things we have compared. So the canonical equations of motion of a satellite perturbed by the perturbing potential V. We write in this form by a perturbing potential now. So del H by del, and H is given in terms of V is there, and Xi, Pi are generalized coordinates and momenta. These are the general equation how we write. And then we add the total energy P0 to the Hamiltonian H to obtain homogeneous Hamiltonian H, and then applying the time transformation results in this Hamiltonian. With your equations of motion are like this. X0 is equal to T now. Your T is this is also the independent variable. Now solving the canonical case transformation given by X0 is equal to 2E0 is equal to T, P0 is equal to 2W0, and this is your the transformation. This is your L matrix, KS and U1, U2, U3, and P1, P2, P3 are connected to this, and we get this Hamiltonian. This last time also I showed you some development in this. The equations of motion are, again we got S is the independent variable, and we have this bilinear relation which we obtained during the development of the theory. So which is very useful for the comparison. Any place, any time, any place in the orbit, this is satisfied. So you can check the accuracy of your calculations, get the state vectors and U's and W's, and then you substitute and then you check. So now this is your L matrix. Okay. The separation now, these are here, the why they become more advantageous is because we are able to reduce the variables, but not all the time, but well, here it is working. The separation of Jacobi's equation corresponding to unperturbed Hamiltonian can be achieved through canonical transformations. This canonical transformation we have used, having the this is the generating function, and the transform Hamiltonian becomes. So that complicated H0, this H0 which we are having earlier, this H0 has become now only this alpha 0, alpha 1 plus alpha 4, and the corresponding perturbed Hamiltonian, because the other fellow will be there, and you can always, these perturbed things you can always convert, because accordingly your the conversion your position and velocity also will be available to you. So in this is also one of the sets, but well, this set is not so convenient because 4 parameters are going to vary. Now the generating solution, this S with the generating canonical transformation, this transforms the Hamiltonian H bar H plus del S by del S. Now you see those alpha 1, all those fellows are out. You have only perturbed, and you have only here, and then this your equations are this, and now you know that because there is none, all your H bars del L, because the alpha in unperturbed one there is no variable is there. So all del H by these are going to be 0. So betas and alphas, they are going to be constant. And that is how, that only helps us to solving for UK and WKs. We can get these variables U0 and then UKs, etc. It's very beautiful, the algebras are involved are very beautiful. Now corresponding alpha betas are alpha 0, alpha k, beta k, and all from it is seen that all 10 these elements are constant in the unperturbed case. This is the uniform. the regular set of elements. That's what we use here. Now, if AK and BK are the canonical forces attached to the system of equation 7. Equation 7, you can see here, this equation 7. Here they are. He has discussed in a page. He did not do much detailed discussion, but well, he had given some hint there in his book. When they are canonical forces attached to the system of equation 7, then the canonical equations of motion corresponding to equation 7 are in this form we can write. Okay, with AK and BK we can have in this form. And W0, WK, these were all at that time beginning, which was complicated to us. It took some time for us to get into the right form. And now we have taken D. CD has come over, W0D is a drag. So to start with, that's why we started with a simple force model. First, to see whether we can, how are we going to get this solution. So D is the aerodynamic drag force per unit of mass on a satellite of mass m. This is King Ellis book. That's why for our convenience we have given this. Any other previous thing you see these any reference can be given. It's not necessary that only, but this is a very important book, very popular book. His 64 book also was very popular, but once it came, then people started telling this because this was more updated book. So this is the drag, and this and then these are all the parameters. Other parameters involved with the drag. These are all there. Atmospheric rotation and rotational rate, etc., drag coefficient, effective area, and all. So those things, we have to be having. Now we consider only canonical forces. Then the equations are like this. Now this is what we have to integrate now, because now we are taking only the drag. D minus BK and AK are there. If the atmosphere is assumed to, we'll see here only. Now you can do any number of problems. Equations are here. These are up to there. No other thing is needed. So here only you are going to introduce your atmosphere. So when you are taking spherical, then we have gradually we have updated our studies. Spherical we made it oblate, and then diurnal also, and like that, and then this also varies with altitude. So all when you change, then you can this. But to understand this, we started this simple model. This is function of eccentric anomaly, and then we had a relation between the new earlier independent variable S and this eccentric anomaly. This is there in terms of energy. Alpha 0 is energy. So this relation helps us to convert this S in terms of the eccentric anomaly, and we have done that. So we started this, and now we can use this. R is equal to A into 1 minus E cos E. Well, last time when we were doing the J2, J3, J4, we had one effort we have done in terms of there also. That also I will present to you. That was done with one of my undergraduate students here, and that also we can present. Because when you do with eccentric anomaly, things are more familiar, and this equation is familiar to all people who work in orbital dynamics. R is equal to A into 1 minus E cos E. And now these are all the coefficients, A0, B0, these are all we computed. I think this we could do by hand itself. It was not very complicated. But later on we have shifted to maxima and other form. So to compute the more complicated forms. So we have been able to calculate these coefficients, for those 8 equations. We have computed them, and these coefficients also which are appearing, everything we have computed. They are provided. So utilizing the expression V, now V is written in this form. So G0, G1, G2, G3 are given previously here. G0, G2, G3. We have expanded them. So we are written here in terms of IR. So if you expand it little more, then you will get more accurate values. But then everywhere you have to take that E higher order terms if you want to take there. So provide and simplifying the above equation and substituting the equation in equation of motion 14. Equation of motion 14 we have substituted this equation of motion 14. We get in this form. And then the coefficient, these are all provided in appendix A. These are all we have provided. D and F also we have put it here in D and F also here. T and F, they are all here. Utilizing this, the fact that E is equal to 2 square root alpha S, because S has to go in terms of E. Wherever S is there, the above equation become. Now we have written this equation. We have written in terms of the eccentric anomaly. So we change the independent variable to now eccentric anomaly. And now you can see we will be, because our density model we have written in terms of eccentric anomaly, because that is there in available in eccentric anomaly, which is more convenient than other forms. So we had this in both the forms we are having. Analytical computation we can do to change in alpha 0 and alpha I during one revolution. Delta alpha is say are obtained by integrating from 0 to 2 pi. We note that the non-zero integrals in the resulting expressions are of the form of linear combination of the modified Bessel functions. This is modified Bessel function of imaginary argument. 1 by 2 pi, 0 to 2 pi, exponential z cos e, cos n e. So this is similar what we had used and what anyway we got already from King-Halley thing. So the essentially the King-Halley's book and the case these two books study and our experience after those books has helped us to get into these studies and carry out this research. The explicit form of the perturbations del phi is obtained by substituting the values of rho, the density what we have taken, and then integrating these equation from 0 to pi and using that modified Bessel function expressions. And then we will these things we will be able to see this I0, I1, I2, I3, they are coming from there, because these are coming from here, writing in that expression. And these are, anyway, as I discussed earlier, they are very accurate, the order of 10 to the minus 16. So these are all, so these we have obtained. So these are, after every revolution, this much is the change in the energy and change in the state variables. The beauty is that only these two equations you need to handle, but you are following your state vector also. You can get the state vector also, because alpha betas are available to you. If somebody wants to, you get position velocity also. You can tell at what time what position velocity is there. So then numerical results we carried out the results, and we had one advantage in this thing, because our previous softwares, whatever we have in there itself, we modify the new things. And some of the calculations which we are coefficients, all those things we do not change there, and that expressions we modify. So as we were following earlier, we use the ballistic coefficient to 50 kg per meter square. That is a good number to be used in our calculations. And then other values are known, the earth radius and the gravitational constant of the earth. And Syrah mean atmosphere we utilized, because that was convenient for us to use, because it was well documented by us. So for us, there was not much problem. But these are all values. You can take any other values also, because the idea is to check the theories, how accurate they are. So whether you use by Syrah 72 or some other atmosphere, that is not going to be of major concern. And we utilize this method has been working quite well for us. Angaguta-Gill method for fourth order for numerical integration. So we followed the same thing. We did not go in that area. So figure 1 and figure 2 depict the difference between the numerically integrated and analytical computed values of semi-major axis and eccentricity up to 1000 revolutions for the orbits which we have taken. We have taken the orbits, different orbits we have taken. Small omega, these numbers we have kept here. and we'll see there. Yeah, perigee height is 220 kilometer and eccentricity is 0.05, small only, and inclination is 85. So let us see how they look. Now you can see here figure 1. So everything we have put in terms of figure. This is the present solution. So these are the difference between numerically and analytical computed values of semi-major axis up to 1000 revolution. We did up to 1000 revolutions. You can see the revolution number. So after the end of 1000 revolution, up to 1000 revolution they are going. Computed values of semi-major axis up to 1000 revolution for the orbit with initial perigee. Initial perigee is 220 kilometer. So this is quite, where drag will be appreciable. And eccentricity is also not that large, 0.05. And for small eccentricity and less perigee height, drag will be more. And inclination is as I told you, 85 degree is when we check for higher inclination, it works well for the lower as well. So these are the ones for our thing, and then we have seen this is the my earlier solution, because I developed with the oblate atmosphere, but when you put oblateness equal to 0 there, then it will become a spherical atmosphere. So you can see here, and this is the present solution, which gives much better accuracy than this. This is Cook, King, Haley, and Walker. This was developed in 63 in terms of orbital elements. So this is developed in terms of KS elements, and this is in so canonical elements have, even then the development was complicated in the beginning. See, this development is very simple. If you see King Haley's book, you can easily understand without much problem. This has some more efforts one has to do, but this is more complicated. But you can see the final answers are very accurate. This is semi-major axis. Similar thing is seen in the eccentricity also. This into 1 lakh we have put. That is so that to show this, the differences. This also you can see over here. It also works. These are all after up to 1000 revolutions for the same orbit. And then we have done figure 3.4 provide the above differences after 1000 revolution for orbit having eccentricity of 0.1 and inclination 30 degree with the variation of perigee height. Here we have kept perigee height, we have changed, because when you have a low perigee height, the drag will be high, and eccentricity we have kept same. So same 0.1 and then 175 to 225. So maximum decrease also, you can say up to 528 kilometer it decrease. HP is equal to this, or this many kilometer and this many eccentricity. So it can change quite a lot. So I'll show you the figure. So here also you can see this is the difference between numerical and analytical values after 1000 revolutions. So the values of semi-major axis after 1000 revolutions. So each result is after 1000 revolutions. Initial perigee height is changed from 175 to 225. So you can see here 175. Every theory will have a problem because the drag will be very high. But still, not much. This many meters only. This is after 1000 revolutions. So this theory has given a better solution than the other two theories. You can see there, or with respect to perigee as well. This is semi-major axis, and this is the eccentricity. Almost both are almost of the similar trend. And this is the difference between numerical and analytical computed values of semi-major axis after 1000 revolution. When initial eccentricity increase, here we have changed the eccentricity from 0.0 from a very small 0.025 up to 0.2. But we have kept the perigee altitude of 250 kilometers and inclination of 30 degrees. Again, these are all after 1000 revolutions. You can see interestingly, somewhere at this eccentricity, all the solutions are of this. They are almost giving similar results. Almost not much error also, because you see error is this zero line. So they are almost cutting 0 line somewhere. Almost everybody is cutting here. And everybody has a tendency, this going this way, this going this way, and this going also this way, around this point. So maybe this has got something peculiar in when development is done. Of course, we have not taken depth, but maybe there must be something there. Some interesting result might come. But semi-major axis eccentricity, this might is happening somewhere here also. And then figure 7 and 8 provide the above differences after 1000 revolutions for the orbit having perigee of 220 kilometer and eccentricity of 0.05 with variation of inclination from, here we have varied the inclination from 1 to 90 degrees. So we have checked almost all kind of scenarios. Typically it is needed that for I is equal to 45 degrees, the maximum degrees in the semi-major axis and eccentricity after 1000 revolution is this. The case C, that the canonical solution provides better estimates from 1 to 90, and from this we see that that in general the KSC solution presented here is herein provides better estimates than the other two analytical solution for drag perturbed orbital parameters. So you can see here this is 0 to is going up to 90. KSC, and this is all after 1000 revolutions. Perigee height is 220 kilometer and eccentricity is 0.05. So after each 1000 revolution, the difference is, you see, in meters is not much. So very accurate this solution. This solution is almost with inclination, it hardly has any major effect, because difference between analytical and numerical, for this there is no sensitivity of this, and here there is a small sensitivity. As you see, as inclination increases, the errors are slightly more here as well as here. This goes, case is mostly showing other side, this shows the other side. Almost they are of the same order, their accuracies. 7, and this is for the eccentricity, similar trend for this. So conclusion already I told you. So we have compared with these two other theories. And the acknowledged author has thanked the referees for their constructive comment suggestion, which helped bringing the paper to the present form, and also to editor for his kind remarks on the paper. So anyway, because this was, they had given some suggestions, and these are some of the references, and these are also some of the references. So this is all. So thank you very much for your kind hearing.